Tasmania. Join us as we explore one of Australia's most stunning and diverse destinations. From the historic streets of Hobart and haunting ruins of Port Arthur to the white sands of Wineglass Bay, historic villages, Launceston and the alpine beauty of Cradle Mountain, let's discover why this island state might just be Australia's most underrated escape. After a smooth flight into Tasmania's capital Hobart, we touched down in the mid-afternoon, ready to begin our 7-day adventure across this remarkable island. With the sun still high, we checked into our hotel, dropped our bags and set out to explore. Our first stop, Constitution Dock and the stunning Hobart waterfront. They say Hobart has some of the cleanest air in the world, and honestly, you can feel it with every breath. The harbour was buzzing with life, boats bobbing, and people wandering between waterfront cafes and bars. From there, we took a short 20-minute drive up to Mount Wellington, the perfect place to get our bearings. Rising over 1,200 metres, Mount Wellington rewards you with sweeping views of Hobart, the Derwent River and beyond. The winding drive up delivered plenty of stunning scenery, but the summit itself was wrapped in thick fog and icy winds, so the full view will have to wait for our next visit. As evening settled in, we returned to the city to relax and reflect on our first impressions of Hobart. We felt that perfect mix of being tired and excited, ready for the adventure ahead. 7 days in Tasmania. Day 1 of our tour begins from Hobart, with a scenic 90-minute drive through rolling countryside toward one of Australia's most significant heritage sites, the historic town of Port Arthur. To understand Port Arthur, you first need to understand Eagle Hawk Neck, a narrow strip of land 15 kilometres north of the penal settlement. Just 30 metres wide, it connected the Port Arthur Peninsula to mainland Tasmania. For convicts dreaming of escape, this was the only land route to freedom. On one side, the relentless Southern Ocean. On the other, the shark-filled waters of Eagle Hawk Bay. Perched beside this tiny strip stood the guards' quarters, a small outpost where soldiers lived in constant readiness. From here, they kept watch over one of the most infamous security barriers in Australian history, the dog line. Across the neck, ferocious dogs were chained in tight sequence, each placed so that no man could slip between them without being heard, smelt, or seen. The dog line wasn't just a deterrent, it was a psychological weapon. Its reputation alone was enough to crush most escape attempts. For prisoners at Port Arthur, Eagle Hawk Neck stood as a stark reminder that freedom was close, but virtually impossible to reach. Nestled on the Tasman Peninsula, Port Arthur is a place steeped in both history and emotion. Once a 19th century penal settlement, it housed some of Britain's most hardened criminals. More than just a prison, it was an attempt at reform, complete with a church, a hospital, and even a boys' prison. We spent 3 hours wandering through the ruins, taking in the imposing penitentiary, the shell of the church, and the eerie silence of the solitary cells.
No convict must ever be called by his name. Rule 22. All clothing and other articles of whatsoever description which the convicts may bring with them are to be taken away, and after an inventory has been made of the same, they will be placed in the store appropriated to that purpose, and there retained until the convicts are discharged. Rule 23.
It's a place that feels both haunting and humbling. A stark reminder of the hardships endured, and a powerful testament to Australia's colonial past. On the way back to Hobart, we took a detour through the charming town of Richmond. A step back in time in its own right. Here stands the iconic Richmond Bridge, built by convict labour in 1825. It's the oldest stone span bridge in Australia, still in use today. And to finish the day, we headed straight for a true Tasmanian icon, Cascade Brewery. Established in 1825, it's Australia's oldest operating brewery, and the perfect place to unwind and soak up the atmosphere of a place that's been part of Hobart's story for nearly 2 centuries. With only a few hours left in Hobart before hitting the road, we began day 2 at one of Australia's most important convict sites, the Cascades Women's Factory. This was no ordinary prison. It was where thousands of women and their children were sent during the transportation era, many for petty crimes or simply for surviving poverty. Life here was brutally hard. Overcrowded yards, punishing labour, strict discipline, and the constant struggle to care for infants in conditions never meant for families. Yet the site stands today as a powerful reminder of resilience, a place that preserves the stories of the women who shaped early Tasmania against impossible odds. From there, we jumped straight back into the 21st century with a visit to Mona, the Museum of Old and New Art. Mona is the creation of Tasmanian entrepreneur and professional gambler David Walsh, whose unconventional fortune funded one of the world's most extraordinary museums. Carved deep into a stone-faced cliff, Mona feels less like a gallery and more like descending into another world. It's bold, it's provocative, and it challenges everything you think art should be. I won't spoil it. You'll have to decide for yourself whether Mona is genius, madness, or a bit of both. Leaving Hobart behind, we hit the road and began our journey up Tasmania's stunning east coast. As we followed the water north, the landscape opened up to sweeping views of Great Oyster Bay and in the distance, our first glimpse of the Hazards mountain range, granite peaks marking the entrance to Freycinet National Park. By the time we pulled into Swansea Cottages, our home for the next 2 nights, we were already excited for what lay ahead. There are places you see online and you start to wonder, is it really that good? For Esther and I, Wineglass Bay was one of those bucket list destinations. So on day 3, we set out to answer that question the very best way we could, by experiencing Wineglass Bay from 2 very different perspectives. To start the morning, we joined Freycinet Air for a 30-minute scenic helicopter flight from friendly beaches. Our pilot Noah guided us over turquoise shallows and up toward the dramatic granite peaks, known as the Hazards, mountains that define the Freycinet Peninsula. Then there it was, Wineglass Bay. Seeing it from above was like stepping into a dream. The perfect curve of that white sand crest, the crystal clear water glowing in shades of turquoise, the untouched wilderness wrapped around it. It was better than we ever imagined. It was pure Tasmania magic. But we weren't done yet. After touching back down, we drove into Freycinet National Park to experience Wineglass Bay the traditional way, on foot. The trail climbed steadily 400 steps through bushland until we reached the famous Wineglass Bay lookout. The view from here was incredible, but we wanted to touch it and experience standing on one of the greatest coastlines in the world. After about 900 steps, winding down through granite boulders and native trees, the track opened up, and there it was, the beach we had just seen from the sky, now right in front of us. After seeing Wineglass Bay from above and now standing in the middle of it, we finally understood why this place is consistently ranked among the most beautiful beaches in the world. It's untouched, pristine, and unbelievably peaceful. Nature at its finest. Tassie, we truly fell in love with you today. Day 3 at Freycinet wasn't just about ticking off a bucket list item. It was about experiencing one of Tasmania's crown jewels from 2 unforgettable perspectives, the sky and the shore, and discovering that sometimes the world really is as beautiful as you'd hoped. Day 4 was all about exploring Tassie's heartland, those small historic towns we'd always been curious about. So today, we set out to see 3 places we'd heard so much about. Our first stop was Campbell Town, a charming township rich in colonial history. As we wandered along the main street, we followed one of the town's most unique landmarks, the Red Bridge Convict Brick Trail. Thousands of individually inscribed bricks line both sides of the road, each brick telling the story of a convict who died on their way to Australia by either disease or misfortune. Every brick representing a life, their name, age, ship, their crime, and length of sentence. At the end of the trail sits the historic Red Bridge, built in 1838 by convicts using over 1 million handmade bricks. With truck and cars still rolling across it each day. Just up the street, we popped into the Fox Hunter's Return, Campbelltown's famous bookshop, housed in the Old Town Hall cellar. It's a treasure trove for book lovers. Stone walls, wooden beams, and shelves packed with Tasmanian history, and has been recognised in a global publication of 150 bookstores you need to visit before you die. A short drive south brought us to Ross, one of Tasmania's most beautiful and best preserved heritage towns. Ross immediately draws you in with its wide, elm-lined streets, charming sandstone buildings, quiet cottages, and perfectly preserved 19th century architecture. Wandering the historic streets feels like stepping into a storybook village. Of course, no visit to Ross is complete without seeing the Ross Bridge, completed in 1836. Its elegant sandstone arches are decorated with detailed carvings created by convict stonemasons. It's peaceful, picturesque, and an absolute highlight when you're visiting Ross. On the edge of town is the Ross Female Factory, a site connected to Tasmania's convict history. These days, there isn't a lot left to see, other than ruins and a series of interpretive signs, but they do share powerful stories of the women who lived and laboured here. Our final major stop for the day was Brickendon Estate, just outside Longford. Established in 1824 by William Archer, Brickendon is one of Tasmania's oldest continuously run family farms, still owned and operated by the Archer family today. The estate is a UNESCO World Heritage listed convict site, with original farm buildings, workers' cottages, stunning gardens, and the grand homestead offering a glimpse into colonial life. After exploring the estate, we made the short drive to Launceston, or Lonnie as the locals call it, where we'll settle in for one night before continuing our Tassie adventure. Day 5 of our Tasmanian adventure started with a plan to explore Launceston, one of Australia's oldest and most charming cities. But Tasmania had other ideas, with the weather sadly closing in. So we decided to make the most of our morning by heading to Launceston's signature highlight, Cataract Gorge. Located just a few minutes from the city centre, Cataract Gorge is this incredible natural reserve, practically in Launceston's backyard. We walked across the suspension bridge and took in the views that make the gorge such a favourite for locals and visitors. Cataract Gorge is also home to the famous chairlift, the longest single-span chairlift in the world. It glides slowly above the gardens and river, giving you a peaceful, elevated view of the entire reserve. With the weather closing in, we were excited to jump back in the car and begin the 2-hour drive west to one of Tasmania's iconic landmarks, Cradle Mountain. As we climbed higher, the temperature dropped And then we saw it. Snow. Yes, snow in November. By the time we arrived at Cradle Mountain Wilderness Village, the snow was falling steadily. A complete surprise. And just when we thought the day couldn't get any better, a wombat wandered out of the snow and appeared right below where we were sitting. It was the perfect finish to an unforgettable day. We couldn't wait to see what this beautiful mountain had in store for us tomorrow. Day 6 at Cradle Mountain began in the most magical way possible. Overnight, the temperature had dropped well below freezing, and when we woke up, the entire landscape had been transformed. It felt like Christmas had arrived early in the Tasmanian wilderness. Before heading out for the day, we wandered through the village, crunching through snow underfoot. It was the perfect start to a day we'd been looking forward to for months. A short drive brought us to the Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre, where we picked up our National Park passes and boarded the shuttle bus towards Dove Lake. Even on the bus, snowflakes were still drifting down, and we wondered whether the trail would even be walkable today. But as we pulled up at the start of the track, the snowfall eased and then stopped completely. Dove Lake was breathtaking. The 6-kilometre trail winds its way around the shoreline, with Cradle Mountain towering above in its iconic jagged silhouette. A good dusting of snow coated the landscape, highlighting every ridge, every rock. Just beautiful. It was one of the most peaceful and awe-inspiring places we've ever visited. Every corner of the track revealed a new postcard moment. In the afternoon, we continued exploring with the Enchanted Walk, one of Tasmania's 60 great short walks. And it absolutely lives up to its name. With a bit of time left in the day, we made our way to the Tasmanian Devil Sanctuary, a chance to get up close to Tasmania's most iconic little creature. Watching the devils, learning about the conservation work being done, and seeing these powerful little creatures up close was an awesome experience. It was a great way to cap off an amazing day. Our final day in Tasmania began early as we said goodbye to Cradle Mountain and set our sights on Hobart, a 4-hour drive south, hoping to arrive in time to experience one of Tasmania's true icons, the world-renowned Salamanca market. By the time we rolled back into Hobart, the weather was absolutely perfect. Warm sun, soft breezes, and crowds spilling through the historic waterfront precinct of Salamanca Place. We spent about an hour wandering through the market, and wow, this was something else. Esther had been before and knew what to expect, but for me, it was a complete surprise. The size, scale, and sheer quality of Salamanca market blew me away. With more than 300 stalls, everything felt authentic, local, and full of character. The atmosphere was buzzing, and it was the perfect final taste of Hobart. As our Tasmanian journey came to an end, we reflected on just how incredible this past week had been. What a trip! We were blown away each day with the history, the charm, and the incredible beauty of this magnificent island. Tasmania, you really are Australia's most underrated escape. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to ensure you don't miss out on our future travels. And if you're planning your own adventure here, be sure to check out our upcoming video where we share our best tips, what we learned, and the things we wish we knew before visiting Tassie. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.